What is up, everybody, and welcome back to a new video here on the channel. This is your boy Gold Toxic. Hope everyone's doing well. And today, this video topic is a little overdue, I can't lie. And this was something I've been wanting to talk about pretty much since it came out, and that being the release, or the soon-to-be, if we get any more news, on the new Persona 4 remake. So last summer, Atlus, the developers of Persona, dropped a teaser trailer on the new Persona 4 revival game, and all it was just a short clip. It was like not even a minute long. Shots of Inaba, the city, and the shots of Yu Narukami, who's the main protagonist. And outside of that, that's really about it, to be honest. And when the teaser trailer dropped, there was a lot of hype surrounding it. It's like a lot of comments saying, "Oh, we were so excited for this," and admittedly, I am too. But however, I will talk about why I am excited and why I think it's a good idea later. But however, the reason why I kind of want to make this video, because there's a few local minority of people, in even though they're like a small group, but they are very, very vocal, and they are the people who are not excited, who don't want this to happen. And I feel like some of the reasons why they were upset was because, first off, the trailer was not even a minute long, and it was like, it didn't have a whole lot of concrete information. Like, it didn't give us any gameplay, it didn't give us like a date when it was supposed to drop, which again, teaser trailer. And keep in mind, that trailer dropped back in May, June? And it is now almost March. And also, another reason why people are kind of worried is that they're worried about change, which I'll be talking about that later. And also, they are also worried that, oh, this will be like a slop game only used for nostalgia baiting and blah, 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 blah. And also, they want games like Persona 6 or a Persona 1-2 remake. And that's kind of what I've been seeing, like, pretty much ever since the teaser trailer came out. And I guess there is some valid reason behind it, given that 2026 is the 30th Persona anniversary, and we haven't gotten any news since summer, keep in mind almost March. And I have a feeling that we're probably not going to get any actual news anytime soon. And that leads to the frustration of fans. And to counter-argue some of this, first off, I want to say, if you are saying Persona 4 should not be made because Persona 1 and 2 is more deserving to be made, then that's an argument. Or if you're waiting for Persona 6, that's also an argument. But however, what is not made for an argument is this. And also, I've seen people say things like, "Oh, but I've seen the trailer, and the trailer does not look good." Okay, there was a overwhelming amount of people saying, "Oh, where's the new Persona 4 trailer," and blah, 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 blah. And so naturally, the devs felt pressured just to release that from how it is. But at the same time, personally, I feel like they could be sandbagging. And obviously, they've done probably a lot more from now until then. Also, something that makes me laugh is that how people complain about, "Oh, it looks so unpolished, man," even though it was in early development, and it is literally the first thing it says right there. And also, here is something that really piques my interest, something that, like, I'm really curious about. Why do people think that Persona 4 does not need a remake? Well, first off, the original P4 came out back in 2008, and Golden came out back in 2012. And keep in mind, it is 2026, and Persona 4 came out on Vita and was not a port in the consoles until when? 2022, 2023? And honestly, the graphics have not aged well. The gameplay, even though it's still good, but I think it could definitely use some improvement. The voice acting is also good too, but however, I wouldn't mind some improvements or a replacement or two, which is probably going to happen. And something that really irritates me in that it feels like it needs to be said, in my opinion, even though the revival trailer is pretty bare bones and they're probably sandbagging a lot, but who knows? We might get something soon. It's the 30th year anniversary, after all, of Persona, so hopefully we at least get something. And also, it just feels like people just want to nitpick just to nitpick. And honestly, that in itself is kind of annoying. But however, I also want to talk about why I and other people are excited for this game. I always felt like Persona 4 was kind of the middle child, so I feel like having a remake in 2026 would be a great idea, because especially because Persona 5 is without a doubt the most beloved and the most popular Persona in the series, because there was Persona 5 Strikers, Persona 5 The Phantom, so it's the most overly marketed game in my opinion. And granted that Persona 3 Reload just came out back in 2024, which in my opinion kind of leaves Persona 4 as the middle child. So, and with Persona 4 being announced, Persona 4 Revival being announced, I feel like this would be a good opportunity to kind of like introduce newer Persona fans to it, with the style of Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Royal was something that they've been used to. Speaking of Persona 3 Reload, it proved that honestly it could work. Like when Persona 3 Reload was announced, people were saying, oh, this is not going to work. It doesn't need a new remake and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it has modern UI in combat, a massive upgrade on visuals, improved pacing, and it made older mechanics feel fresh without ruining what made Persona Persona. And a lot of people are probably just going to write off and say, oh, the Persona 4 remake isn't going to work because it's just a lazy port. Look at Reload, then honestly tell me that, okay? And also another thing a lot of people say is that Persona 4 is the most emotionally warm entry in the series, and that I agree with. The chemistry in the main friend group is immaculate. I definitely love the small town vibe in comparison to Persona 3 and Persona 5. And I also really love the, strong truth versus self-acceptance theme. And I feel like it would hit just as hard, if not harder, in 2026 or 2027 or whenever it's titled to come out, which hopefully we get a release date soon. Also, think about the accessibility for newer fans. Since Persona 5 exploded in popularity, millions of new players have never even touched Persona 4. If we had a remake, it would bridge the gap between older and newer fans. It would be visually closer to Persona 5 standards in both visual and gameplay, and plus it would make it a lot easier for the newer fans to go backwards in the series. Speaking of enhanced graphics, the modern presentation would make it a lot easier for Persona fans to get into Persona 4. Imagine fully modernized character models, more expressive cutscenes, expanded dungeons, and a lot more unique dungeons, and a lot more visually correct dungeons, because I know that was a massive complaint within the Persona community. And not to mention, it is the most outdated modern Persona game, despite it coming out in 2012. And don't get it twisted, being outdated does not mean it's bad. I still think it's a great game, but however, with a remake, it can redo a lot of the, stuff that was holding it back from being up there with Reload and Royal. Imagine the original soundtrack, or pretty much a remake that is as close to the original soundtrack as possible, which with Reload, I don't doubt they would mess that one up. And, or probably even a new original song, just like Reload did with Color Your Night. The same voice actors from Golden, which hopefully make it in, or at least someone, or a group of people that would be as close to the original soundcast as possible. And just overall, I feel like that would be the main compactors to the nice small town vibe without having it feel like it's new, if you know, or even some bonus hangout features, just like Reload did. And This is a remake with a lot of untapped potential. I honestly feel like if Persona 3 Reload is any indicator of what Persona 4 Revival is going to be, I feel like we have nothing to stress about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I got to the point with like these. Anyway, again, thank you again for watching. Love you guys. This has been Gold Toxic. And until next time, peace.